You are stronger than you think. Think of the hardest moment in your life, the time you felt like giving up, the time when everything seemed impossible. And yet, here you are. You survived. That alone is proof that you are stronger than you think. Your struggles reveal your strength. When we think about strength, most people imagine physical power muscles, endurance, or the ability to lift something heavy. But real strength goes much deeper than that. True strength is revealed in the moments when life doesn't go as planned, when everything feels overwhelming, and when giving up seems easier than going on. It is in those very moments, the struggles, the pain, the setbacks, that your strength is uncovered. Without those challenges, you might never truly know how powerful you are. Struggles are not there to destroy you. They are there to reveal the warrior within you. Think back on your life for a moment. Think about the times you felt like you couldn't go any further. Maybe it was a financial crisis, a broken relationship, the loss of someone you loved, or even the silent battles of your own mind. In those moments, you probably questioned everything. You questioned your ability, your worth, and maybe even your purpose. But somehow, you made it through. You found a way to survive the storm. That's proof of your inner strength. You might not have realized it then, but every trial carved resilience into your soul. Just like pressure turns coal into diamonds, the scars you carry are not signs of weakness. The truth is, no one discovers how strong they are when life is easy. If everything came without resistance, we'd never grow, and we'd never push ourselves beyond the surface. Just as muscles grow when they are challenged by weight, your character grows when it is challenged by difficulty. Each hardship you faced has been like a personal trainer for your spirit, pushing you, stretching you, and sometimes even breaking you down so that you could rebuild stronger than before. Struggles are not setbacks, they are setups for transformation. It's easy to underestimate yourself in the middle of a battle. When you're in the dark, when you're tired, and when the mountain looks too high to climb, your mind convinces you that you're not strong enough. Strength is not measured by how you feel in the moment. It's measured by the fact that you keep moving even when everything in you wants to stop. You are stronger because you keep taking one more step, even when the journey feels endless. You are stronger because you choose to rise again every time you fall down. One of the greatest truths about strength is that it's often invisible until you look back. At the time, you may feel like you're barely surviving, but when the storm passes, you realize how much you endured and how much you grew. Suddenly, what once seemed impossible now seems like proof of your resilience. And here's the beautiful part. Every struggle you overcome adds another layer of strength, preparing you for the next challenge. Life doesn't get easier, but you get stronger. So instead of seeing struggles as punishment, start seeing them as proof of your potential. When you face challenges, don't ask, "Oh, why me?" Instead ask, "Oh, what is this trying to teach me? What strength is this revealing in me?" Because every struggle has a hidden gift: patience, courage, discipline, or resilience, and it's up to you to find it. Remember, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Without the storms of life, you'd never discover the depth of your own strength. Your struggles are the evidence of your power. They are not the end of your story, but the very chapters that make your story worth telling. The same struggle that feels like it's crushing you today may become the testimony that inspires someone tomorrow. Every scar you carry is not a sign of defeat, but a badge of survival. And survival, my friend, is strength in its purest form. You have untapped potential. Inside every person lies a reservoir of potential far greater than they imagine. The problem is not that people lack strength, talent, or intelligence. It's that most never discover how much they truly possess. We underestimate ourselves daily. We convince ourselves that we're not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable of more. But the reality is that your mind, body, and spirit are designed with possibilities you have not even begun to tap into. You are carrying dreams, skills, and power that, if unlocked, could change not just your life, but the lives of countless others. Think about this. History is filled with ordinary people who did extraordinary things. Every world changer, innovator, or leader started out as someone who doubted themselves. Thomas Edison was told he was too stupid to learn. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Each of these people could have believed the limits placed on them, but they didn't. They dug deeper into their potential, and in doing so, they unlocked levels of strength and greatness that the world had never seen. You too have that same hidden reservoir of ability. It's waiting for you to push beyond what you think is possible. The reason most people never discover their potential is because they never step outside their comfort zone. We live within self-imposed boundaries. We say, this is just who I am, or this is all I can do. But the truth is, you can always do more than you think. The moment you test your limits, you find out they weren't limits at all. They were just walls built by fear and doubt. Have you ever surprised yourself by accomplishing something you once thought was impossible? Maybe you ran farther than you thought you could, lifted more than you thought possible, or endured something you never imagined surviving. That's proof your potential expands when you dare to stretch yourself. Your untapped potential is not just about achieving personal goals. It's about discovering the strength of your character. You might not know how disciplined, resilient, or creative you are until you are forced to use those traits. Adversity often unlocks hidden strengths. When you're pushed into unfamiliar territory, you find out you can adapt, you can grow, and you can rise. That's why it's so important to challenge yourself intentionally, set goals that scare you, take risks that stretch you, and face fears that hold you back. Each time you do, you access a new level of the greatness already inside you. Another reason people fail to access their potential is comparison. We look at others and say, they're more talented than me, or they have what I don't. But potential isn't about being like someone else. It's about becoming the fullest version of yourself. The only competition that matters is the one with the person you were yesterday. If you can become stronger, wiser, and braver than you were the day before, you are already tapping into the greatness within. The truth is, most people will go to their graves having used only a small fraction of their true ability. Don't let that be your story. Don't settle for mediocrity when you were born for greatness. Don't spend your life living small when you were designed to rise. The dreams in your heart, the ideas in your mind, and the strength in your soul are not accidents. They're clues pointing you toward your destiny. Your job is to unlock them, Dot. So how do you do it? You start by believing it's possible. The mind controls everything. If you think you're weak, you'll live weak. If you believe you're limited, you'll live limited. But when you choose to believe that there is more inside you, your actions align with that belief. You start pushing harder, reaching higher, and refusing to quit. And slowly but surely, you'll prove to yourself that you were always capable of more. That untapped potential is not a fantasy. It's real. It's waiting. And the moment you decide to pursue it with courage and discipline, you will astonish yourself. One day you will look back and wonder why you ever doubted. You'll see that the greatness you admired in others was always within you too. And you'll realize the truth. You were stronger, braver, and more powerful than you ever thought possible. Fear is a sign of growth. Fear is often misunderstood. Most people see fear as a sign of weakness, as proof that they are not ready, not capable, or not good enough. But the truth is very different. Fear is not a signal to stop. It's a signal that you are stepping into new territory. Fear means you are growing. It means you are standing on the edge of your comfort zone, about to cross into a place where you've never been before. And that, my friend, is where true transformation begins. Think about it. When was the last time you felt fear? Maybe it was before a big decision, a bold step, or a challenge you weren't sure you could handle. Fear shows up right before a breakthrough. It shows up when you're about to stretch your potential. If you were doing something safe, something familiar, fear wouldn't even appear. Fear is proof that you are moving towards something greater. In fact, the presence of fear often means you're on the right path. Many people run from fear. They treat it as a red light, a warning sign that says, turn back, it's too risky. But if you look at the most successful people in the world, entrepreneurs, athletes, leaders, creators, you'll notice one thing. They didn't run from fear. They leaned into it. They recognized that fear is part of the process. They felt it, but they moved anyway. And by doing so, they discovered that most fears are illusions, walls made of paper, not concrete. Once you walk through them, you realize they were never as big as they seemed. Fear also has a purpose. It sharpens your senses, heightens your awareness, and pushes you to prepare. Imagine standing on a stage before giving a speech, your heart racing, palms sweating. That fear isn't weakness, it's energy. It's your body preparing you to perform at your best. When used correctly, fear fuels focus. It can push you to study harder, practice longer, and stay sharper. Without fear, you might become careless or lazy. With fear, you know the stakes are high, and that awareness makes you stronger. The key is not to eliminate fear, but to master it. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite it. Every time you act in the presence of fear, you rewire your brain. You teach yourself that fear is survivable, that it won't destroy you, and each time you do, you grow stronger, more confident, and more capable. Think of fear like a compass. The direction that scares you most is often the very direction that will lead you to growth. Ask yourself this: what opportunities have you avoided because of fear? How many dreams have you silenced because of a voice that whispered, what if you fail? What if people laugh? What if you're not enough? Now flip that question. What if you succeed? What if people are inspired? What if you're more than enough? Fear tries to focus your mind on what you could lose, but growth requires focusing on what you could gain. When you reframe fear as a friend rather than an enemy, everything changes. You stop resisting growth and you start embracing it. Instead of saying, I'm scared, I should stop, you begin to say, I'm scared, which means I'm growing. That small shift in perspective transforms fear from a barrier into a teacher. Each time you face fear, you are carving a path toward your fullest potential. So the next time fear shows up in your life, don't run. Don't shrink. Recognize it for what it is, a signpost pointing you toward growth. Feel the fear and step forward anyway, because every time you do, you expand your comfort zone, you unlock hidden strength, and you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever believed. Fear doesn't mean stop. Fear means go. And when you embrace it, you'll find that it was never your enemy. It was your greatest ally in becoming the strongest version of yourself. Mindset creates reality. Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world. It's not just a way of thinking, it's the foundation that shapes your actions, your choices, and ultimately your results. Two people can face the exact same challenge. One sees it as an impossible wall, the other sees it as a stepping stone. What makes the difference? Not the size of the obstacle, not the resources they have, not even their level of talent. The difference is their mindset. Your mindset creates your reality. If you wake up believing the world is against you, everything you encounter will confirm that belief. You'll see setbacks as proof of your weakness and difficulties as signs that you should give up. But if you wake up believing that you are capable, resilient, and resourceful, those same setbacks become lessons, and those difficulties become opportunities to grow. The situation didn't change, your mindset did. And that shift changes everything. Now take a look at some of the greatest achievers in history. And they weren't always the smartest, the strongest, or the most skilled. But they had something far more powerful. They believed in the possibility of success even when no one else did. That belief shaped their actions, gave them the courage to persist, and opened doors that would have stayed shut if they had surrendered to doubt. Henry Ford once said, "Well, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right." That's the truth about mindset. It determines what you see as possible and what you're willing to fight for. A fixed mindset keeps you trapped. It whispers, this is who you are, and you can't change it. It makes you think that your intelligence, your skills, and your abilities are permanent, so when you face failure, you feel like it defines you. But a growth mindset, the belief that you can always learn, always adapt, always improve, unlocks doors. When you have a growth mindset, failure doesn't destroy you. It teaches you. Challenges don't stop you. They strengthen you. Every no becomes motivation for the yes that's waiting. Your mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, that's exactly what will grow. But if you plant seeds of belief, hope, and determination, your life will flourish in ways you never imagined. The thoughts you allow to take root become the reality you live in. This is why guarding your mindset is one of the most important things you can ever do. What you feed your mind, your thoughts, your self-talk, the voices you listen to, shapes the reality you experience. Even science backs this truth. The placebo effect has proven that belief alone can create physical changes in the body. If belief can heal sickness, imagine what it can do for your goals, your career, your relationships, your entire life. When you shift your mindset from limitation to possibility, you begin to see solutions where you once saw problems. You begin to take action where you once stood still. Still. And with every step, your reality transforms to match the belief you hold inside. The most empowering thing about mindset is that you have the power to choose it. You can't control every circumstance in your life, but you can control how you interpret it. You can't control what people say about you, but you can control what you say about yourself. You can't always control what happens, but you can control the meaning you give it. And that meaning will either weaken you or strengthen you. So ask yourself this: what mindset are you living with today? Are you focusing on what you lack or on what you can create? Are you telling yourself you're not ready or reminding yourself that you're capable of learning? Because the story you tell yourself becomes the life you live. Change your story and you change your reality. In the end, strength is not about muscle, it's about mentality. When you choose a mindset of resilience, courage, and growth, you build a reality of strength, achievement, and fulfillment. Remember, life isn't just about what happens to you, it's about how you decide to see it. Your mindset doesn't just influence your reality, it creates it. Your story can inspire others. Every challenge you've faced, every tear you've shed, every battle you've fought has shaped not only who you are, but also the story you carry. And here's the truth: your story is not just for you. The experiences that once felt like they were breaking you may be the very experiences someone else needs to hear in order to find their strength. Your story is a torch, and when you choose to share it, you light the way for others still walking through the darkness. Think about it. How many times have you been inspired by hearing what someone else has gone through? Maybe it was a survivor of a life-threatening illness, an athlete who overcame impossible odds, or even a friend who got back up after failure. Their story reminded you that struggle doesn't mean defeat, that pain doesn't mean the end, and that there is hope even in the darkest moments. That same power lies in your own journey. What you've been through, your scars, your lessons, your victories, can breathe life into someone who feels like quitting. Not many people underestimate the value of their story because they think it's not dramatic enough or not impressive enough. But inspiration doesn't come from perfection. It comes from honesty. You don't have to have a flawless journey to inspire others. You just have to be real. Sometimes the most powerful words aren't "you succeeded," but "I struggled too, but I kept going." Vulnerability is what connects us as humans. When you open up about your struggles, people see themselves in you. They realize they're not alone, and that realization can give them the courage to keep fighting. Sharing your story also transforms your pain into purpose. When you suffer in silence, your struggles may feel meaningless. But when you share them, they gain meaning because they help others. Suddenly, the mountain you climbed becomes a map for someone else to follow. Your survival becomes someone else's inspiration. Your victory becomes someone else's proof that it's possible. In this way, your story becomes bigger than you. It becomes a gift to the world. Here's something important. Your story doesn't have to be finished before you share it. You don't have to wait until you've achieved every goal or conquered every battle. Sometimes people are most inspired by seeing someone in the middle of the climb, still fighting, still pushing, still refusing to give up, because it shows them that courage isn't about having everything figured out. It's about showing up anyway. Even in your unfinished chapters, your story can carry power. The ripple effect of your story can go further than you imagine. A single sentence you speak, a single moment of honesty, a single act of courage to share what you've endured can change the trajectory of someone else's life. And when they rise because of your words, they may go on to inspire others. That ripple continues, spreading light farther and farther. All because you have the courage to let your story be heard. Never forget, your story matters. The hardships you've endured, the battles you've survived, and the victories you've earned are not accidents. They were shaping you, preparing you, and giving you a message that only you can deliver. Somewhere out there, someone is waiting for the story that only you can tell. They are waiting for the proof that strength is possible, that healing is possible, that resilience is possible, and you carry that proof. So don't hide your story. Don't downplay it. Don't think it's not valuable. Speak it, share it, live it out loud, because your story has the power to breathe hope into the hopeless, strength into the weak, and courage into the broken. And when you inspire others with your story, you turn your own journey into something eternal, a legacy that proves once and for all that you are stronger than you think, and that strength is contagious.